What's up, guys? Welcome back to the infamous project. We are back here in Texas at the commercial shop, and we actually have a new arrival since I got back here. We're going to talk about that car in a minute. Another black notch. That's right. But the shop is full. Like, I either need more lifts or I need more space or more storage. All those motors over there are taking up some serious real estate. The focus of this video, before I ramble on about some of the other things that are in here, is actually the 1990 Survivor hatch. It has come back from paint. It arrived right before I left for Detroit, and this was a Red Dog paint job. Turned out really, really nice, super clean, and it's time to put this thing back together. You can see there's going to be some cleanup and tidy up that needs to happen here in the engine bay. Now, this is not like Chuck's build, if you will, right? Chuck's build was over the top, shaved out engine bays and wire tucks and like every single last little attention to detail. This car is a Survivor driver car, and we'll call it like a mild restoration, right? Fix the dings, the scratches, get the paint looking all nice and shiny instead of faded. And, you know, we'll tidy up and clean the bay. And in fact, we actually got more paint in the bay than what would have come from factory. And it's just going to be some tidy up. You can see the AC system was all left intact because that R12 is still blowing ice cold. So in efforts to keep everything together and not having to open up that system and do the 134 conversion, why not take advantage of the R12 if it's still there? So we need to start putting that back together. We need to deal with all the trim. We need to get all the interior back in. I just pressure washed the carpet the other day, which I'll share a couple details about the importance of pressure washing and using factory carpets. I'm sure I'll be able to insert this into the video somewhere at some stage. But here we are. We got Chris's black carpet, and I have rinsed it down with the pressure washer. Well, first I vacuumed it down, okay? All the insulation, all that stuff is still on the underside of it and is actually in really good shape. The key is to having, this is when the weather, the hot Texas weather, works to your advantage because it will dry up just about anything, all right? So I vacuumed with the shop vac, got all the loose debris and paper clips and spare change and hairballs from a dog or a cat or whatever that used to ride around in this car all off, rinse it down with the pressure washer, and now I have soaked it down with some super clean. And this pressure washer's got the little soap dispenser down in the bottom there, so literally just super clean, dissolve or grease dissolve it. Here we go, traditional super clean. Biodegradable detergents, right? So safe for outdoor use and what we're doing right here. And just mix it in there. I think that automatically dilutes it down about 20 to 1. And spray it on, let it soak. You can see, well, the water is actually dripping out a little cleaner than it was. It was coming out pretty much brown at first. So I'm just gonna let that do its thing. And then we're gonna rinse it off. Now, you might need to do this a couple times if you've got an extra dirty carpet. Thankfully, this car was in pretty good shape and well kept, so I don't think, you know, I'm gonna have to do a second pass. I think once I rinse this out and let it dry, vacuum it up, this is gonna look like brand new. So if you guys have a carpet, and it could be gray, it could be red, it could be blue, and you think that it's not salvageable, guys, hit it with a pressure washer, hit it with some cleaning products, and I promise you, this is the path of least resistance and the path that you are going to be happier with the final result, because those aftermarket carpets, between not being molded properly, in my opinion, having to cut all the holes out, trying to get the fitment right, and not have a factory look and finish and feel in the end, this is a million times better. Again, that's my opinion. You do what you want to do, but this is the route that I'm going, especially with a nice black carpet, black original carpet such as this one. So take advantage of the nice weather if you guys have it. If you don't, it's just going to take that much longer to dry. If you've got under padding, sound deadening that's like moldy and nasty, guys, rip it off, get rid of it, and put new stuff in. Okay, so don't try and save, you know, that type of stuff when you can still save the carpet. And we saw this on Foxbody. Foxbody's carpet was absolutely, like, it looked like it was trash. I ditched all the under padding and the insulation that was full of mold and nasty, and the carpet actually came out pretty good, all in all considering. So, and sometimes you end up with a perfectly good carpet. At that point, you can dye it a different color, whether you want to throw it in your trash can with like 15 boxes of RIT dye, or you can get the industrial dye off Amazon, or you can do the spray dye with spray cans. Guys, there's so many different options in ways that you can go with your carpet. So there you are, a couple little tips from Tip. I'll be restoring some quarter glass windows, the ones that were in the car. I think someone attempted to do them at some point, but the line is gone, right? So I don't know what the deal is, and I like to see the line and the definition of it. So these guys are gonna take a back seat. I've got another set that I can do, and right, like these ones don't look bad. You know, whoever did whatever they did, you know, I got them fairly smooth, but yeah, they weren't concerned about saving that line in there, which is kind of the defining factor of the quarter glass. So Blue Brother is still here. Had to do some AC diagnosis because it kept leaking. Guess what? Little horseshoe thing in here, like I talked about in the last AC video, was the culprit. So got that all figured out. That's squared away and no more leaks. The AC is done. And there's actually some big news coming for this car that is actually related to that twin turbo Coyote that's up there. And we'll be sharing that here in another video, most likely. And then here we go. 1992 black on black notch, just arrived from Canada, and this is actually going to be a Godzilla swap. So the car, as you can tell from the exterior side of things, shiny black paint. Interior will most likely end up with some Recaro seats in here with backs to match, but super clean, tidy car that we don't need to worry about any paint work, which I love, except for he's probably going to want to do something in the engine bay. So whether we get that painted, whether there's panels, or hopefully he's not trying to shave and do crazy wire tucks, but we will see what happens there. So there will be a lot more to come on this car right here. Going back to the Survivor car, I've got the original motor all cleaned up here, which I've actually got a video on, right? Little mini makeover, gaskets, paint, clean up, some new components, and this motor is definitely looking the part, right? So should be a pretty easy plug and play installation back into the car. The only thing that we're gonna have to do before we put it in is swap out the rear main seal, which we've got a brand new Ford one. Took off the emission tube across the back here and put inserts to block those off. Will be, you know, no more EGR. That's gone. So, you know, couple little mods, nothing too crazy. It's going to look the part, but it's just going to be a little bit cleaner, less components to worry about, and should do real nice in this hatch over here. I'll probably start putting some trim on since I've already redone most of it except for the quarter windows, and you know, tidying things up and getting ready to be able to stick that motor back in. So stick around. couple hours of elbow grease, and doesn't really look like I've made that much headway, to be honest. Just kind of cleaned some stuff up, organized some stuff, bolted a few things on that were painted and clean, like the wiper motor and map sensor, and yeah, top of the strut mounts, and just trying to get everything cleaned and out of the way there. Got our trim back on around the windshield, still got to bolt the cowl down. Did the trim on the door frames. Rear window is done. I have, this mirror is drying before I can bolt it on and get this trim on. We'll be doing new handles. I don't even know why the painter left those on. Usually he pulls them off, but whatever. Looks like he sprayed around them just fine. I did notice they did not rivet this in the right hole, so it's sitting too high. So I got to drill this guy out, and maybe even this guy, to get this to seat down properly, and then I can get the trim piece on. And these, unfortunately, they were too far gone. I had to order the aftermarket ones. The last time I got a set of them, man, did they ever. I think the driver's side fit okay, but this side, it sucked right in here. So fingers crossed I'll get a better outcome on this car than the last time I tried to use them. So now I'm messing around with the main wiring harness down here. Pulled off the old tape, cleaning stuff up. Gonna get the Alex Tech on there and some harness tape, get that all cleaned up so that way that can be in and ready. And once that's in there, then we can drop in the motor and get that all bolted up in place. At that point, everything will start coming together quite quickly. The carpet's cleaned and ready, so I just got to clean out the interior, and that way I can get the seats in. If you guys, so the seats are actually really nice. These were recovered with TMI covers. Came out very, very nice. So I'll be excited. The rears are there as well to match. So it should be a pretty nice car when it's done. Saturday here, cleaning up the quarter windows on the inside that I refinished on the outside. So I'm gonna get that all off. Got some fresh butyl tape here. This Amazon stuff works really well. Make sure that all this old shit is cleaned off, or at least sticky, like so. So it'll stick to each other, and I've put little circles around all the mounting holes here as well. Try and mitigate water from getting inside the car. And I just need these pieces to show up, and that's going to do it for the trim. Well, with the exception I need to do the door handles and lock cylinders, but we're getting there. When you got fresh, thick butyl, it helps being a nice hot day today because you can snug it down and then wait a little bit as it's gonna get hot and just kind of start sinking in, and then you can like do a final torque down or snug down on it. And see, you got the motor in yesterday, and it was a little challenging on my own, you know, trying to line up the studs out of the torque converter through the flywheel. So there's a lot of up and down, up and down, up and down, rotate the motor over a little bit, but I managed to get it in there. And you can see the AC compressor and power steering pump are definitely looking out of place. And if you remember, we kept all that stuff connected. Most importantly, the AC stayed connected because it's still running the R12 and it's still blowing ice cold. So in efforts to just kind of keep that all together, that's why it kind of looks ugly. So we're gonna have to detail those two units because the system stayed closed throughout the paint process. And we'll get those cleaned up, tidied up and everything. They'll look the part. Recover the low pressure line there, get that all sorted out. We got our 1993 Cobra brake booster installed, so yes, big hammer down in the back of the strut tower in the backside there. Managed to sneak that in, and it helps too if you hone out the two holes just a little bit. It just gives that little bit of extra thread allowance so that you can kind of sneak it past without having to beat the strut tower in that much more. And that's about it, guys. You know, this was done on Friday. It is Saturday here, and I was just here so that the lightning, the white lightning, could get picked up by Mr. Notorious, who's now down in San Antonio. So trying to make some room in here. Jerry's Coyote, I went to the exhaust shop yesterday, so I got that out. So we're starting to make room, which I'm excited for because we got 3 Godzilla swaps coming up for the end of the year, and I want all 3 cars here, one of them being the Calypso at my personal shop. So we'll get it over here, and then that way we'll be able to kind of assembly line / streamline all these Godzilla swaps. So there we go. Nice little update. Might end the video here. And we'll keep plugging away at the Survivor car here and some of the other projects. So until next time, we'll see you back here on the Infamous Project.